F2, War Treasures, watch 2 rounds of F2 races in one video? But first of all, before the official start of the whole season, 6 drivers have already been penalized. F2 always starts with the last minute. The reason is that FIA technical officials discovered that 3 teams drilled holes in the diffusers of their cars during preseason testing and placed an air pressure probe through the holes to obtain additional data. The stewards determined that this modification of standard parts broke a number of F2 technical regulations, and that the data obtained from it could allow 2 drivers on the same team to benefit from it. Therefore, 6 drivers from 3 teams were punished, and all 10 drivers were penalized for the entire Australian race weekend, both races. The stewards also suggested that technical officials could allow teams to submit applications for additional sensors to be installed on their cars during mid-season testing, and advised them not to approve the applications of the 3 offending teams. In the qualifying round of the Australian race, the MP team failed to notify Gord in time. While he was doing the cool-down lap, Esterson was approaching him quickly from behind. Gord suddenly closed the door and was torpedoed by Esterson, who damaged his suspension and substructure. By the way, I noticed that Esterson's car was sponsored by iRacing, which makes him an esports driver. Martins, Mini, Fornaroli, and Crawford always occupied the top positions in the timing list. In the end, Mini took the first place, but after the qualifying round, the stewards determined that Mini blocked Crawford and therefore penalized him 2 places from the start. Martins inherited the pole position. The F2 sprint race is actually more entertaining. Putting aside the racing strategy, there is no need to consider too much about tire management. Combined with the top 10 starting in reverse order in standard racing, you just have to work hard, and it is hard to say who will win in the end. After all the penalties and reverse starting orders were calculated, F3 champion Fornaroli and AIX's Dirksen started from the front row, followed by Browning and Beganovic, with the 3 Red Bull drivers concentrated in the middle. The red light went out, and Vernaroli in the yellow car skidded slightly, and Dirksen took the lead. The silver Beganovic also had a slow start and was attacked from all sides by 3 cars, forcing him to brake suddenly to avoid them. Entering turn 1, the black Martins was squeezed out of the track, losing a lot of position, with the pink Menegesuo rally line behind. At the end of the starting phase, the front ranking was Dirksen, Fornaroli, Bronman, Stanek, and Beganovic. On the second lap, Martins lost control and spun out at turn 5, hitting the guardrail hard, causing suspension damage. He unfortunately retired from the race, and the virtual safety car was triggered. The race resumed on the 4th lap, with Dirksen taking the lead and widening the gap. Vernaroli behind him failed to react in time, and was immediately left behind by more than a second. Browning, wearing a Williams paint, took the opportunity to launch an attack. Not far behind them, their respective teammates were also fighting hard. Beganovic, who was wearing a silver car, used the D2S to get close to Stanek, who was wearing a yellow car, and took the outside line at turn 11 to overtake and move up to 5th place. On the 6th lap, esports driver Esterson lost control at turn 6 and ran off the track, triggering the safety car. The race resumed on the 11th lap, and Dirksen reacted quickly again, soon opening up a 1-second gap to Vernaroli behind him. On the 12th lap, Beganovic tried to take the outside line at turn 9 to defend against Stanek's attack, but the car turned 360 degrees on the spot, losing a lot of position. On the 14th lap, Megtuniev repeated Beganovic's loss of control at turn 10, but he was unable to save the car and rushed off the track, triggering the safety car again. The safety car driver, Uncle Melander, did not even have time to get out of the car to smoke. The advantage was also resolved for the 3rd time. When the race resumed on the 17th lap, the team reminded Vernaroli to put pressure on Dirksen and force him to make a mistake. But at the end of the lap, Dirksen had pulled more than a second ahead of Vernaroli. In the end, Dirksen got off to a good start in the 2025 season and won the Australian sprint race. Although the rookie Vernaroli behind him failed to pose a threat to Dirksen, he also blocked Browning behind him for the entire race without DRS, causing a DRS train to start in the back and almost no changes in the rankings in the entire point zone. On the second day of the race, after several attempts to start, The F2 race was unfortunately cancelled due to heavy rain and the failure of the F1 race. Except for Uncle Melander, everyone else left work early. Debrard also finished 6th. Ferrari's lightly trained Beganovic finished 4th. Alpines Mini finished 8th. But Dirksen was found after the game. The diffuser is 2 millimeters lower than the regulations require. Results cancelled. So Beganovic got his first podium of the season. Ironically, if Beganovic hadn't fought so fiercely with Dirksen, maybe he can do it after Dirksen's results are cancelled, inherit the game victory. But as the famous F1 biologist Verstappen said, if my mother. In addition, McLaren and Ray Dunn were given a 10-second penalty after the game, directly transferred to number 19. A fierce operation. Entering the first race of the 2025 season. Normal starting order. Last year's F3 champion Fornaroli and Martins, who just signed a contract with Williams for light training. Still in the front row. Behind them is Browning, who is also trained by Williams. With McKellen and Ray Dunn. Red light off. The two Weiss had a bad start against the lightly trained drivers. The 4 cars behind him instantly swallowed him up. But, other than that, the entire departure phase went very smoothly. No accidents. The first lap ends. Varagamez and Marty each move up 5 spots. F2 race is the same as F1. Mandatory pit stop for all drivers. Switch to a set of tires of a different compound. Generally, there are only 2 strategies, positive and negative. The normal strategy is to start with a softer tire compound. Arrive early, switch to a harder formula, and finish the race. The reverse strategy is to start with a harder tire compound. Arrival later, and sprint with a softer formula in the later stage to ensure the success of the strategy. Everyone will manage tires carefully. Crazy attack. Benelli chose to use both soft and hard tire compounds this weekend. Also because of the obvious difference in grip between the 2 tires. Soon after the game started, the car array is automatically divided into. The front team started with soft tires. The rear team started with a reverse strategy using hard tires. Dunn gets DRS, the gap between himself and the leader, Vernarelli, reduced to 0.3 seconds. Behind him, Marty tried to dive. At turn 4, but the cornering speed is too fast, too deep. Using DRS on the straight road, easily pass from the inside, start leading the race. Marty behind him also surpassed Villagomez at the same time. Come to the 3rd. Beganovic and Dirksen are repeating yesterday's attack and defense, but Fulshaw, Montoya, Lindblad, and Meany have caught up. 6 people form a DRS train. Bennett, who is ranked 17th. A very bold strategy. The first pit stop, change to hard tires. Early, switch to soft tires. Trying to get clean air, forming super undercut. But he needs to run a full 22 laps on the soft tire. In the next lap, Mini also entered the pits and changed to soft tires. Defense from Bennett's undercut. On the next lap, it was Fulshaw. Beganovic, Montoya, and Martins' pit stop triggered a chain reaction in the front camp. In the next 2 laps, the soft tire drivers stopped to change tires. The undercut strategy is very powerful in Bahrain, where DRS trains are prone to form. Many teams would rather give up the theoretically fastest race strategy. You can't let your opponent successfully climb over the wall. Lap 18. Browning lost position at the start. After tire rotation, with the grip advantage of the new soft tire. Overtaking Meany on hard tires. Rising to 4th place. He then locked onto 3rd-placed Fornaroli on lap 21st. Used DRS to easily overtake entering the podium position. He got into Martin's DRS range again. Williams training battle, Williams Chingshun. Meanwhile, Dunn, who is leading the race, has become a strategist. Inform the team that you are ready to widen the gap now. This calm and composed person is completely different from the ruthless person he was yesterday. Lap 23. Browning attacked his fellow driver for being late for the start. Martins is powerless. No resistance. Browning came in second and Dunn is now 5.5 seconds ahead of him. Rear integration area edge, 4 cars are fighting for the last 2 points. The black and orange Bennett surpasses the yellow Stanek, but he has poor acceleration out of the corners. Green Dirksen attacks Bennett again. Stanek took the opportunity to regain his position. Dirksen, who was unmarked, surpassed 2 players. Red Bull training driver Gord Bennett was also captured in the chaos. Just the daily life of F2. The 4-person revelry attracted the 5th person to join. Lindblad overtook Bennett in 1 lap. Gord and Stanek. It's a bit scary. In front, Fornaroli finally caught up with Martins and used DRS to overtake at turn 1, but Martins did not intend to give up. The last podium position, the two engaged in a fierce fight. But as Martins' tires faded, not only did he fail to capture Fornaroli and fell into the clutches of Martins behind him. The final lap, Martins catches up with Fornaroli. The latter tried to break the wake and tried to block it in. Turn 1, Martins continued to try to overtake at turn 3. Fornaroli forces Martins to the outside at turn 4. The two almost collided Martins, then took action again at turn 8, still blocked by Fornaroli. The F3 champion accurately predicts every attack of Martins. Perfect blocking line. Successfully defended the 3rd place, Dunn took the lead. Taking advantage of clean air. Prolong your soft tire stint as much as possible. Successfully widen the gap. Winning his first F2 victory, Martins finished 5th, Beganovic 7th lead, Brad 8th, Meany 9th. After this round, rookie Dunn tops the standings, tied with 2nd place. Marty F3 champion,